There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the info war.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2014, and I'm Leanne McAdoo. Here's what's coming up tonight.
Tonight.
You are seeing the beginnings of a sustained campaign, and strikes like this in the future can be expected.
The Obama administration attacks Syria without congressional approval. That's next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
And the guys come over and we're kind of peer pressuring, like they were laughing at me. And I wasn't upset because they were making fun of me. I was upset because of what big giant piles of steaming crap they were.
Well, in a move that threatens to inflame the entire region, Washington launched airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria last night. Now, ISIS fighters, training compounds, headquarters, and command and control facilities, storage facilities, a finance center, supply trucks, and armed vehicles were hit. Early reports indicate that at least 8 civilians, including 3 children, were killed during an aerial bombardment of the city of Raqqa. Now, whatever the necessity and justification of the campaign against ISIS, Obama's decision to once again ignore Congress just reinforces this precedent that has been set that the White House is going to go ahead and launch military action with no legal justification whatsoever, nor are they going to consult Congress. Now, shortly after reports of U.S. airstrikes on Syria emerged, Congressman Justin Amash summed up the feelings of some lawmakers as well as a lot of the citizens here in America, basically saying congressional leaders' failure to engage in a vigorous debate about the new conflict. It's absurd. He said it's irresponsible and immoral that instead of debating and voting on war, congressional leaders chose to recess Congress for nearly 2 months. But of course, when they do get back, they're going to blame Obama for not consulting them. But how is he going to consult them when they purposely go back on vacation? Now, by once again snubbing Congress, Obama has brazenly violated the Constitution. Once again, it is an impeachable offense. Of course, we're probably not going to see anything about that. And even with that, the lefties were very quick to voice their support for Obama and trying to point out how launching this airstrike campaign was so much different than Bush. But AP reporter Josh Lederman deleted this tweet after a round of well-deserved mocking. He tweeted, "Involvement of 5 Arab nations in Syria airstrikes, a major foreign policy win for Obama, also helps him distinguish from Bush's Iraq war." And he was instantly criticized. One person said, 3 of the countries assisting in airstrikes tonight assisted in strikes under Bush, but don't let facts ruin a good lead. And another said, yes, Bush had 8 times as many countries allied and had congressional approval. These are 2 things Obama lacks. So, of course, it is typical spin. Now, the White House is saying that they have legal justification to attack ISIS under the same 2001 authorization that was given to strike those during the War on Terror. However, that law only covers those who were directly involved in the September 11, 2001 terror attacks, organizations, other persons, countries. So, of course, now we're hearing about this Al-Qaeda splinter group that, we've heard whispers of them in the past, but now, all of a sudden, today, we're hearing that they pose an imminent threat on the United States, which means somewhere within the next few weeks, we should have been seeing some sort of attack. Now, the Russian Foreign Ministry said any strikes by U.S. and its allies on Syrian territory require Syria's consent. And they added that initiators of unilateral, forceful scenarios should bear all the international responsibility for their consequences. In a September 22nd telephone conversation with UN Secretary General, Putin said that attempts to attain one's own geopolitical aims by violating the sovereignty of countries in the region merely fuel tensions and destabilize the situation further. Not to mention that these airstrike campaigns are going to only further bolster support for anti-American jihadi groups. Now, earlier on Tuesday, a spokesman for the Syrian Foreign Ministry reported that the U.S. had given them advanced warning that they were going to strike, what certain positions they were going to strike against Islamic State. Now, this is very strange because on Sunday, UN Ambassador Samantha Power told Chuck Todd on NBC that the real purpose of the fight against ISIS would be to overthrow al-Assad and the Syrian government. So it kind of goes against them saying, hey, we're warning you now, we're about to strike these groups. Power said the moderate Free Syrian Army will receive an infusion of support in its battle against both ISIS and the Syrian government. Of course, this is an attempt to keep this illusion alive that there's actually a difference between al-Nusra and ISIS and the FSA, when in fact these are all creations of the West and British and Israeli intelligence, all a means to get into Syria and oust Assad, destabilize the region. Now, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the U.S.-led effort involved coordination with the Free Syrian Army, which is also the group who is just so happens to be the lucky recipient of all of those American weapons. Now, this is why we know it is pure spin when we see them reporting that Assad approves of the airstrikes. So far, not only did Syrian dictator Bashar Assad refrain from lashing out against the American-led airstrikes, they're saying he seemingly gave a coded thumbs up. Syria's official media says that the country's leaders got advanced warning from U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry of the U.S. airstrikes. But this is in complete contrast to spokesman Jen Psaki. She vehemently denied this yesterday. I mean, made a point of denying it, saying, we warned Syria not to engage U.S. aircraft. We did not request the regime's permission. We did not coordinate our actions with the Syrian government. We did not provide advance notification to the Syrians at a military level or give any indication of our timing on specific targets. Secretary Kerry did not send a letter to the Syrian regime. So what is it? Did they warn them? Did they not warn them? Did Assad and their state-run media put that message out to save face, to kind of give the idea that he's got his country under control and that he knew the West was going to be targeting Islamic State within his borders? Just a year ago, Obama officials were insisting that we had to strike the Assad regime. It was imperative. And now, all of a sudden, they're bombing Assad's enemies and giving him the heads up as to where they're going to be striking. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but either way, we know that this administration doesn't ask for permission, and they don't really care if Assad and his regime are giving permission. Now they haven't even gotten permission from the UN, not from Congress. And of course, this airstrike in Syria marks the 7th country that the Peace Prize president has dropped bombs on. City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water? Yeah, it does. Ugh.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the Pro Pure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
Yeah, it has that processed flavor to it.
The Pro Pure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your Pro Pure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.